You're standing in the checkout line at Whole Foods holding a $9 bottle of orange juice, and you're not even questioning it. You drive a car with a monthly payment that costs more than your first apartment. Your gym membership has a beautiful sauna that you have used exactly once on the day you signed up when they gave you the grand tour. And here's the part that should genuinely terrify you. You made $87,000 last year. Congratulations, that puts you in the top 20% of all American earners. You out-earn entire households. The IRS looks at your tax return and says, this person is doing great. Your savings account, however, tells a very different story. It's sitting there looking back at you with a balance of $2,312. That's not a safety net. That is a long weekend in Miami and not even a particularly nice one. The craziest part? You have no idea where all the money went. It just vanished. Not because you're reckless or bad with money, but because the system we live in is really, really good at taking it from you, and it does it with a smile. Today, I'm going to walk you through the most elegant financial trap ever designed. And if you make between $50,000 and $150,000 a year in this country, there's about a 78% chance you're already caught in it. Let me introduce you to Mike. Mike is 34. He lives in Austin, Texas. He works in mid-level tech sales. He's not a Wall Street bro. He's not at a nightclub burning through cash. By all accounts, Mike considers himself a responsible adult. He brings his lunch to work, sometimes. He waits for the big sales to buy new clothes. He even has one of those budget apps on his phone that he opened twice in January and hasn't touched since. We've all been there. Mike makes $91,000 a year, a solid income. But after federal tax, Social Security, Medicare, his 401k contribution, and his health insurance premium, Mike's actual take-home pay is about $5,420 a month. Let's see where it goes. His rent is $1,850 because Austin isn't really Austin anymore. His car payment plus the insurance is $687 because the dealership told him he deserved the upgrade. Groceries are $610 because Trader Joe's is a lifestyle, not just a grocery store. His subscriptions add up to $214. That's Netflix, Spotify, the gym, that meditation app he downloaded during a panic attack last year. Dining out costs him about $380 a month because Let's Grab Dinner is the official love language of modern America. Gas, car maintenance, and all the random little things that life throws at you, $430. And finally, his student loans, $289. If you're adding that up, you get a grand total of $5,460. Read that again. Mike spends $40 more than he earns every single month. And Mike thinks he's middle class. Mike thinks he's doing fine. Mike is sinking in slow motion with a craft latte in his hand. Now, this is the point where a lot of people chime in with, well, Mike should just budget better. And sure, but that's like telling someone stuck in quicksand to just walk differently. It completely misses the point. The problem isn't just Mike. The problem is that every single dollar Mike earns has already been claimed before it even hits his bank account. America has built the most sophisticated, most seductive spending ecosystem in human history. Let me break down how this invisible machine works. Layer 1, housing ate the middle class. Back in 1985, the average American spent about a quarter of their income on housing. Today, it's shot up to 37%, and in trendy cities like Austin or Denver or Nashville, it's pushing past 42%. Your grandparents could buy a house on a single salary. You and your partner need 2 six-figure incomes just to rent in the same zip code. Layer 2, payments replaced prices. Think about it. Nobody asks how much does this cost anymore. The question is always, what's the monthly payment? This is not an accident. It's a deliberate psychological trick. When you finance everything, your car, your couch, your phone, your Peloton, you completely lose track of the actual price tag. Mike's $687 car payment is for a $41,000 vehicle. By the time he's done paying it off 5 or 6 years from now, he'll have paid over $52,000 for it. But $687 a month? That felt manageable. That's the trap. In Layer 3, convenience is now a subscription. DoorDash, Amazon Prime, iCloud storage, Hulu, the New York Times, that app that tracks your sleep patterns, each one is just $8, $15, $12. It feels harmless, right? But you stack them all up, and suddenly Mike is paying $214 a month. That's over $2,500 a year for the privilege of mild convenience. That is a round-trip flight to Tokyo he will never take. The system doesn't rob you at gunpoint. It just nibbles, and the nibbles don't feel like anything until you finally check the mirror and realize you've been eaten alive. And by the way, this doesn't just happen to people making $90,000. Let me tell you something that might ruin your day. There are people making $200,000 a year who are also living paycheck to paycheck. A 2024 survey found that 1 in 4 Americans earning over $200,000 has less than $5,000 in savings. So if you thought the solution was simply to make more money, congratulations, you've just discovered the most popular lie in personal finance. It's right up there with "I'll start investing next month and I'm only going to target for one thing." This leads us to the second, more insidious trap. Let me introduce you to Priya. Priya is 41. She's a senior marketing director in Chicago. She makes $163,000 a year. On paper, she is crushing it. Her LinkedIn bio probably says something like passionate about brand storytelling. Her life looks completely aspirational. She has a 3-bedroom condo, a leased BMW X3, she buys organic groceries, she does weekend brunches, she owns a wardrobe that silently communicates "I have meetings that matter." She manages to save about $340 a month. That's a 2.5% savings rate. But here's the real trap. Priya can't stop. She can't downgrade. She can't move to a cheaper apartment because her lease is locked in. She can't sell the car because she's upside down on the loan. She owes more than it's worth. She can't stop going to those expensive brunches because that's where her professional network lives, where deals are made, where careers are advanced. Priya's lifestyle isn't a choice anymore. It's an obligation. Every raise she has ever gotten was absorbed before it even arrived, by a slightly nicer apartment, by moving into a better school district for the kids, by the silent expectation of what someone at her level should have. This is what I call the upgrade conveyor belt. You step on it when you're making $50,000 a year. By the time you hit 150, it's moving so fast that jumping off feels like career suicide. Not because it actually is, but because everyone around you is on the same belt, running right alongside you. And stepping off means standing still while they all pass you by. And in America, standing still feels exactly like falling behind. Okay, so the system is rigged, your lifestyle is a gilded cage, and orange juice costs $9. Is there any good news? Yeah, actually. And the way out is simpler than you think, but it requires you to accept one deeply uncomfortable realization. Your salary is not your wealth. Your gap is. The gap, the space between what you earn and what you keep, that is the only number that truly matters. Mike earns $91,000 and keeps nothing. Someone else making $55,000 a year who manages to keep $800 a month is wealthier than Mike in just 3 years. That's not a theory, it's just math. So here's the 3-part framework to build that gap. Number 1, run the brutal audit. Pull up your bank and credit card statements for the last 90 days. Look at every single transaction, but don't categorize them into neat little budget groups. Instead, ask one single, ruthless question for each line item. If I didn't have this, would my life actually be worse? Not just different, worse. You'll be shocked to find that 30, maybe even 40% of your spending completely fails this test. That's your ghost money. It disappears every month and gives you nothing of real value in return. Number 2, freeze your lifestyle for 2 years. This is the hardest one. The next time you get a raise, a bonus, or a tax refund, do not celebrate with a purchase. Celebrate by pretending it doesn't exist. Immediately automate 100% of that new money into a separate savings or investment account. If you can just freeze your spending at your current level for 24 months while your earnings grow, you'll build a financial gap that compounds faster than you can possibly imagine. And number 3, build your walkaway fund. Forget about retirement for a second. The first financial goal actually worth chasing isn't $1 million. It's the ability to say, I quit, and not panic for 12 months. That number is different for everyone, but for most people, it's somewhere between $25,000 and $50,000. Once you have that, everything changes. Every career decision is different. You negotiate for raises differently. You tolerate less nonsense at work. You stop needing the next paycheck and you start choosing it. This isn't about deprivation. This is about buying back your own power. The salary trap only works because you need the next paycheck. The moment you don't, the trap breaks. Here's the truth nobody ever puts on a motivational poster. The American dream isn't about making a lot of money. It's about keeping enough of it to actually have options. And right now, there are millions of people out-earning their parents, out-earning their friends, out-earning the national average, and they are one bad month away from a total crisis. Don't be Mike. Don't be Priya. Be the person who saw the trap, understood how it worked, and quietly, patiently built the ladder out. If this made you rethink even one financial decision, hit subscribe. I've got an entire series planned on the money systems that nobody ever explains to you, and the next one is going to make you look at your 401k very, very differently. I'll see you there.